Flow Racing presents the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get boiling, and drivers, start your engine!
Rubber on the weekend, fast as I can, and I'm mine at the finish line. You can meet me there, 'cause I'm always on the run. Well, we don't go home till the job gets done. Till the job gets done.
Welcome to the second Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic broadcast of the day. Live on Flow Racing, I am Bob Dillner. Practice for some other divisions on the racetrack right now. It is loud. We are proud. We're happy to be here today at Carteret County Speedway in Swansboro, North Carolina, known as the Friendly City by the Sea. Yes, we were right on the coast of North Carolina, the ocean just about a mile away from this racetrack. You can smell the salt air. And this is also an incredible day, historic proportions for the Smart Modified Tour and all of pavement short track racing. 2 races at 2 tracks in a single day for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. That's what it is all about. And it began last night at New River All-American Speedway. Matt Dillner filed this report.
Rainouts are never good news in motorsports, but this rainout at New River All-American Speedway provides, well, it's going to provide a history-making moment, okay, for the Smart Modified Tour, but in all of motorsports. One series is going to run 2 races on one day at 2 different racetracks. Tomorrow morning, yes, Saturday morning, here at New River All-American Speedway, the Pace-O-Matic 99, then the teams will load up, bring their cars 25, 30 miles down the road to Carteret County Speedway for the Carteret Clash. This is going to be one of the wildest days in motorsports history.
We've done this doubleheader, and at the same time, we've tried to do something like this for a long time. With the races going on at Carteret, and we don't have another open date based upon our run to the championship. Our only option with the racetrack is to do it tomorrow morning at 9. We didn't have anything going on at Carteret in the morning besides, adjusting the car for the race, and the track doesn't open until 2 o'clock. So we feel like we can get the race in. Yes, we put the teams in a really big disadvantage if they wreck and something of that nature, and we'll work with that as we go. But this is something that's never been done before, but it was our only option at this point. We talked to Carolina Crate. They got a race at Hickory tomorrow night. They're going to still run the race and be back over here Sunday for their race. And so it's something that, we've not done. We're collecting the tires back and stuff, and it's unprecedented. But to get the race in, there was a lot of sold out parking in outside of the racetrack, with all of the parking and stuff. At least the teams are willing to do this. It's something that, like I said, it's never been done. And I'm kind of looking forward to the challenge. I really appreciate the track working with us and give us an option to run in the morning. And hopefully we can get it all done in time. So at this time, Anthony and I have decided that we're going to go tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
Good.
All right.
Everybody good with that? I know it's going to be tight up. We got to wait and get cleaned up, ready to go, but I think we can pull it off.
7:30, the gates open.
There's really not a great situation, but I think the better of the evils. We're going to come in here and green flag at 9 in the morning. Hopefully everybody uses a little sense and doesn't try to tear stuff up so we can have an easy turnaround for Carteret County. A lot of guys have got 2 cars in case you did have a problem, but it is what it is. It's something that we've never done before, but I think probably it's the best decision, better of the evils moving forward.
Well, it's going to be hard. I mean, it's really going to be hard for people running for the championships, the guys, pounding out there to win every week, the racetracks working with us to do it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hot. It's not going to be as hot at 9 o'clock till 11:30, but it's going to be extremely hot at 1 o'clock until 6 tomorrow night at Carteret. My hope is we have a safe race. We don't know what's going to happen, right? We don't know if it's going to be a 20-car pileup or what's going to happen, and we can't foresee that to happen. We've got to deal with it as we go. I just had a conversation with Lofton, and he's like, what if we wreck? I said, I'll find you a ride. Because that's the things we got to do to help each other as we go. And, look, I'm here for the racers. I listened to a lot of them talk about it. Some of them didn't have Sunday to race, and so really it was kind of down to no other option. And I'm trying to give them an opportunity to do what they do, not come back because it's not a date, not spend any more money, in hotels and other things. And so, right now it's the option that we had, and it's the option we're going to run with. And, hope's not a strategy, but we're going to do our best to make it, as seamless as it can.
A wild doubleheader for the teams and for the series and for both tracks. Remember, keep it locked on to Flow Racing. Both Smart Modified Tour races in one day, in one place on Flow Racing.
Well, as you can tell, it's been an interesting last 24 hours for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Thank you to Flow Racing's Matthew Dillner for putting that together. A lot of work for 2 races in one day at 2 different racetracks. Early this morning, 99 laps with the Pace-O-Matic. 99 for the Smart Modified Tour. Ryan Newman driving to victory lane over Danny Bone and Luke Baldwin. And then all the teams packed up and raced on over here to Carteret County Speedway, 34 miles down the road, unloaded. Had practice earlier today. Bobby Labonte with S&S Racing, the quickest car during practice. And now all the drivers getting lined up and set for Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying today here at this racetrack. Let's take a look at the point standings coming into this one. And this is just recently calculated. In the Moonshiners Bar and Grill right in the infield here, and you can see Carson Lofton still with a big lead over Luke Baldwin by 48 markers, but Danny Bone is right there right now as well. One slip up by Carson Lofton and Luke Baldwin. Danny Bone, Ryan Newman, this morning's winner, and Burt Myers, they will be there in a hurry challenging for this championship. Joey Coulter on the outside of the top 5 looking in right now. Tommy Buzzy in that 25 car moving up 1 spot in the championship equation. Jamie Tomeno down 1. Jonathan Cash moving up a little bit. And Jason Myers, who had a heartbreaker earlier today in a crash midway through that race at New River All-American Speedway, rounding out the top 10 in points.
Mr. Benji, start your first car.
The tower here at Carteret County Speedway, or one of them because there are several. This is a unique racetrack indeed. This place, 0.4 of a mile in length. It's virtually flat. They call it 8 degrees of banking. Doesn't feel like it, but the racers love coming here because the atmosphere here is unbelievable. You have a catwalk along the backstretch where people can line up and just stand and watch all the racing going on. You got a bridge in 3 and 4 so people can go up and over into the infield and watch the races in the grandstands as well. First car is now on the racetrack. This driver with a great run at South Boston Speedway earlier this year, a top 10 during the King of the Modifieds event. For the driver, the number 22 out of Advance, North Carolina, that's the Carolina Drilling Tutterow Racing Fury Machine for Jason Tutterow. Tutterow first lap, 16.881, 16.881. Jason Tutterow did race here 1 year ago in the Carteret Clash. Excited to have him back. 8th place at South Boston Speedway earlier this year. Checkered flag, a little bit better on that second lap, 16.782, the top time for Jason Tutterow. Now on the racetrack, second-generation race car driver out of Burlington, North Carolina. He drives the number 45 Ideal Comfort Heating and Air PSR machine for Gary Young Jr. Gary has struggled just a little bit this year in a part-time competition in the Smart Modified Tour. His best finish, a 10th. Gary Young Jr. first lap, 16.683. 16.683, already top of the board by just about 0.2 of a second over Jason Tutterow. His second lap, a little bit better there. 16.506 for the 45 of Gary Young Jr. Now on the racetrack, driver of the number 21. His best finish here in Tour Type Modified competition, a 6th place run years ago. He's in the 21 Carolina Drilling Tutterow Racing Fury Machine out of Reedy Creek, North Carolina for Jimmy Wallace. Jimmy Wallace, first lap on the racetrack, 16.754, second quick on his first lap. Jimmy Wallace not having the finish he wanted earlier this morning at New River All-American Speedway. And Jimmy Wallace goes to the top of the board, 16.300, 16.300 for the 21 car of Jimmy Wallace. Waiting for the next car to enter the racetrack. So far this season, 4 winners in the first 9 races. It's been led by a barrage of wins, 5 in all, by point leader Carson Lofton. He's been so good all season long. The 24X now on the racetrack out of Jackson, New Jersey in the Amerifast Supply Buddy Ellis machine for Karsten DiGiotommaso. John Tommaso, a winner at Wall Stadium in Belmar, New Jersey. The 24 turns a lap of 16.575, first lap for the 24. John Tommaso, an employee of Junior Motorsports, works there Monday through Friday. He comes to take the checkered flag, and John Tommaso is second quick so far out of 4 cars that have turn time, 16.363, just a bit off of Jimmy Wallace. Now on the racetrack in a backup car, so to speak. He was planning to run this car here anyway out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, and the Carolina Drilling Greg Butcher Trucking QRC HVAC and Refrigeration PSR for the 4 of the working man, Jason Myers. Jason Myers, first lap, 16.544, 4th best out of 5 cars, first lap. Coming off of turn number 4, checkered flag in the air and on the stripe. Jason Myers, fast time for Jason Myers, 16.224. So qualifying for Jason Myers. Great field of Mighty Modifieds on hand here. We are live on Flow Racing with Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying from America's nicest short track, Carteret County Speedway. And here comes the number 18 machine here. This driver hails from Lexington, North Carolina in the Yates Grading and Paving PSR with that Yates spec engine underneath the hood for Daniel Yates. Daniel Yates, a couple of top 10 finishes so far this season. Yates first lap, 16.526, 16.526 for the driver who works Monday through Fridays and goes racing on the weekends. Checkered flag in the air for Daniel Yates. He improves to 4th quick, 16.404 for the driver of the 18, Daniel Yates. Here's a guy that a lot of people know very, very well. In fact, a winner here at Carteret County Speedway a couple of years ago. He's the driver number 18 out of Corpus Christi, Texas, in the Cookout Coca-Cola Units Moving and Storage Pace-O-Matic PSR machine for S&S Racing. It's Bobby Labonte. Labonte, first lap, fast time so far. Labonte, 16.153. Labonte, quickest in practice earlier today. 2 races here at this racetrack, 2 top 5 finishes. Bobby Labonte, even quicker, the first driver in the 15-second bracket. Bobby Labonte turning a time of 15.933 to put that S&S Racing ride on the top here so far during Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying. Next driver, he's right in the middle of the Racing Electronics Rookie of the Year competition. 3 drivers vying for that honor at the end of the season. We call him the Connecticut Kid. He is out of Newtown, Connecticut in the Sundrap EME Industrial Walkertown Mill Troyer. For Hillbilly Motorsports, it's Anthony Bello. Bello first lap, 5th quick out of 8 who have taken time, 16.373. A different car than he ran earlier today when battery troubles put him out of the race early in the Pace-O-Matic 99. Bello, best lap on his first lap. Anthony Bello, that time is 16.373, 5th quick so far. Next on the racetrack, the number 99 out of Howell, New Jersey, in that Jamie and Cheryl Tomato-owned Troyer with a spec engine underneath the hood for Showtime, Jimmy Blewett. Blewett first lap, 16.320, 4th quick for Jimmy Blewett. See what he can do. Remember, the top 8 have the opportunity to redraw depending on a pill draw after qualifying. Checkered flag is out. Blewett 2nd quick, 16.191 for Showtime in the 99. This next driver led laps earlier today. Ooh, that was a close call down there in the corner. We'll see what the ruling is on that one. John Michael Chenette going to stop on the racetrack. Chenette in the 82 Autosport LFR machine, Tony's Race Engines powering that race car. Heinz Performance as well, a supporter of John Michael Chenette.
Range to 12 and put the 12 to the rear of the line to the tires. The 99 is just green, correct, JB? Looks like he took the checker and then he was...
So what we're hearing right now is Smart Tour officials talking about this. The 99 was slowing in turn 4 to come down pit road, and John Michael Chenette caught him awfully quick, had to back off the throttle pedal. So right now, Smart officials figuring out exactly what's going on. And apparently, it appears as though Jake Crumb's number 12 got put on the racetrack. Race director David Hoots telling officials that they're going to put Jake Crum to the rear of the qualifying order to allow his tires to cool. Let's see what happened with the 8 of John Michael Chenette here as well. You got to wonder if they are going to do the same with that 18 to allow his tires to cool as well, to cool. Sorting things out here right in the middle of Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. I am Bob Dillner. Thank you to all of you who came out today to Carteret County Speedway. We're excited to be back with you for a 4th consecutive year for the Smart Modified Tour. Qualifying looks like it's going to continue. This place, just a beautiful facility, certainly America's nicest short track as it is billed. And there is John Michael Chenette. It appears as though they're going to allow, and that's Jake Crum, they're going to allow his tires to cool. He'll go to the end of the qualifying order, as will John Michael Chenette. Now on the racetrack, the number 12 machine. He is out of Louisville, North Carolina, 3rd-generation race car driver in the Jerry Hunt Supercenters, Severt Auto, AJP Transport, Mega Plumbing of the Carolinas. Kevin says yes.com Troyer for Cody Norman. Cody Norman's dad, Mike, here today, helping his son as always. Norman's first lap, 16.610, 16.610 for Cody Norman. He'll be competing in a crate car tomorrow here at Carteret County Speedway. Norman a little bit better on his second lap, 8th quick, 16.436 for this young driver. This driver returning to Smart Modified Tour Racing action this weekend, competed in the first 5 events of the year with us. This driver out of Jackson, New Jersey, Amazing Graphics, DMAC Pool, Scott Car Engineering, and LFR for Blake Barney. Blake Barney, 8th quick, 16.404 first lap. Barney this year, a winner in modified competition at Wall Stadium in Belmar, New Jersey. Has never visited Carteret County Speedway until today. Second lap, he improves a lot. Blake Barney, 4th quick, 16.278 for the driver of the 27. Next up, the driver of the 48. Had trouble earlier this morning at New River All-American Speedway. He's from Deerfield Beach, Florida, in the A-Best Forklift Viper graphics car for Johnny K. Johnny Keevman. Keevman, first lap, 8th quick. Seems everybody's first lap is 8th quick. 16.378, 16.378 for Johnny K. Keevman off of turn number 4, coming to the line. Checkered flag is out for Johnny K. And Johnny K improves to 5th quick, 16.279 for the driver of the 48. Now on the racetrack, the defending series champion of the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. He is out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. Citrus Safe, Peanut Patch, Backyard Leisure, Pool and Spas, PSR Machine, with his wife Kim noted as the owner. It's Bert the Ace Myers. And Myers, 4th quick, first lap, 16.229 for Bert Myers. The Ace, having won his 11th NASCAR Modified Track Championship at Bowman Gray. Crosses the line, and Bert Myers, 2nd quick, just misses Bobby Labonte. 16.076 for the driver of the number 1. Jonathan Cash with a top 10 run earlier today at New River All-American Speedway, coming around to take the white flag. Jonathan Cash, 3rd quick. How about that? 16.180. Pace-O-Matic, PSR Machine for S&S Racing. He's out of Oxford, North Carolina. Coming by, he's got a shot at the top spot here. Jonathan Cash will remain 3rd quick. 16.180, his best lap on his first lap, a 3.75 on lap number 2. Waiting for the next car on the racetrack, and it will be a good one. He is the current point leader of the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. He's out of Lexington, North Carolina, with L&R Transmissions, LeBlue Bottled Water, QMF Metal Fabrication for this PSR for Carson Lofton. Lofton, 5 wins this year. Carteret County Speedway, first visit last year, a 7th place. One good enough for 2nd quick. Can he get into that 15-second bracket? That's where Bobby Labonte on top of the speed chart so far for the driver out of Corpus Christi, Texas. But the Lexington kid hoping to unseat him, and he won't. 16.021 best lap, first lap, and 0.94, very, very similar times from lap 1 to lap 2 on his second lap for Carson Lofton. Driver that finished in the runner-up spot earlier today, just down the road at New River All-American Speedway out of Freehold, New Jersey, in the Amerifast Supply, Buddy Ellis Troyer, it's Danny Bone. Danny Bone was fast here 1 year ago. 16.148, 4th quick, first lap, Danny Bone. The Freehold, New Jersey driver, hoping to get another pole award. He did at New River All-American by virtue of his practice speed. A little bit better on his second lap, but he still remains 4th quick for Danny Bone with a 16.131. Driver the 02 now on the racetrack did not have the outing this morning that he wanted. Out of Miami Springs, Florida, in the Torch Eyewear Molecule Air Shock Driver Fine. SRI Performance Bilstein Shocks Fury Machine for Joey Coulter. Coulter driving the Gray Ghost. Coulter 2 times a winner in Smart Modified Tour competition. Way down the speed charts on his first lap. 16.345, 11th quick. Joey Coulter hoping to do better. He does for now. 16.183. 16.183. Best lap, second lap for Coulter. This kid has been phenomenal this year. The grandson of Tiger Tom Baldwin. He drives the number 7 VA here. Side of this race car, a third generation modified racer for Luke Baldwin out of Mooresville, North Carolina. For Sadler Stanley Racing, Luke Baldwin, first lap, fourth quick, 16.91. Can he do it? Nice and easy on the throttle pedal. He stands on it coming off and Luke Baldwin goes to second quick. So far, 1 and 2 owned by S&S Racing for Hermie Sadler and Bill Stanley. We go from Luke Baldwin to his brother, Jack Baldwin, the 21-year-old that made his first career smart start earlier this morning to a top 5 run at New River All-American Speedway. Jack Baldwin hoping for a good run here today at this very tricky racetrack. Baldwin 10th quick on his first lap. He will improve to 4th quick on his second lap. 16.058 for Jack Baldwin in the 7NY. This driver, a former winner here at Carteret County Speedway. He's always fast here. He was good in practice earlier today. It's the number 15 car. With L&R transmissions on the side, Steve Tires and Automotive, Unique Coatings, Troyer Machine for Shady Grady Racing for Brian Lofton. 9-time winner in Smart Competition, 16.034. 4th quick, first lap for Brian Lofton. Can he unseat his kid, Carson Lofton, in 3rd or maybe better? Brian Lofton, best lap is his first lap, 16.034. He'll remain 4th quick. Next car on the racetrack, the number 12 Machine. He is out of Statesville, North Carolina, running for Jeremy Gerstner and his team here this weekend. It is a former URA late model stock car star, Jake Crum. Jake Crum got put to the back of this qualifying order because of a little bit of a mix-up earlier in qualifying. Crum first lap, 14th quick, 16.299. Crum improves to 11th quick, 16.224 for the driver of the 12. And now back out in the racetrack, the number 8 Machine, John Michael Chenette, 37 laps led in the Pace-O-Matic 99 earlier today at New River All-American Speedway. Had some damage to the front end of that machine. He has made those repairs. John Michael Chenette with a top 8 qualifying, or I should say practice speed that got him in the redraw at New River All-American Speedway. This is a different style racetrack. 21st quick, 16.696 for John Michael Chenette, first lap. 20th quick, 16.448 for John Michael Chenette. And the winner from earlier today, he's the driver of the number 2 Machine for Coulter Motorsports. Shitty Coolers, Capital Automotive Group, Aggressive Hydraulics, Montrose Molders Corporation for this PSR machine for Ryan Newman. Newman out of South Bend, Indiana. Ryan Newman, 7th quick first lap, 16,111. Checkered flag across the line he goes. And Ryan Newman, his best lap is his first lap, 16,111. He'll remain 7th quick. So, the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award today will go to the driver of the 18 VA, Bobby Labonte, the only driver in the 15-second bracket during qualifying for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Former winner here at this fine facility with a time of 15,993. Second quick, Luke Baldwin, 16,012, the 7 VA. The 23, the point leader, Carson Lofton, 16,021. For Carson Lofton in third, his dad, Brian Lofton, 16,034. The 15 is fourth quick. Fifth quick, we have 2 Loftons and 2 Baldwins in the top 5. The 7NY for Jack Baldwin, 16,058. Burt Myers, good time for him, 6th quick, 16,076. Ryan Newman, a 16,111, 7th quick for the number 2, and 8th quick overall. All these drivers have a chance at the redraw. 8th quick, Danny Bone in the Amerifast Supply, number 24, 16,131. Those drivers will all have a shot at the redraw. The Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner, Bobby Labonte, will draw a pill out of the hat with a 4, 6, or 8 in it. By virtue of whatever pill he selects and the number on it, that number of drivers will redraw from their qualifying order, from those speeds. That number of drivers will select from a hat a random pill with a starting position on it. So we'll see if it's going to be a 4, 6, or 8 redraw today here at Carteret County Speedway.
Bombers are ready to pull out, and we'll give you the starting lineup. We'd love to see you right back here tomorrow for Labor Day Thunder. Carolina Pro Crate Mods, Bowman Gray Sportsman Chargers, and Carolina Mini Stocks. That is tomorrow. Renewal by Anderson is here. Set up over by the Kona Ice. The American Legion is also here over there in the same location, same general location.
All right, a little change of plans here tonight. It looks like the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic will be next for 99 laps of electrifying mighty modified action around Carteret County Speedway. It's time to get that adrenaline pumping here at Carteret. This 4/10 of a mile racetrack. Last year we saw a dynamic battle. Trying to get the sportsman cars off of pit road just a little bit. Tommy Neal going to take a couple of laps here. Was not able to qualify earlier today with the Bowman Gray Sportsman class. So right after this, the Smart Modifieds will take to the track.
getting ready for the
listen to that
Bombers.
sound. The Mighty Modifieds firing.
We still got the Bombers, Smart Modifieds,
We will
and
have a
Bowman
rolling
Gray
start
Sportsman.
here tonight and introduce the starting order in just a minute as well. We are at the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro, North Carolina, for the Carteret Clash with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Race number 10 on the season and the second race in a single day at 2 different tracks. First time in series history. A great field of 24 cars on hand here tonight for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Qualifying earlier in the day, Bobby Labonte out of Corpus Christi, Texas, the NASCAR Hall of Famer, won the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award in time trials. He'll be in the starting lineup as a former winner in the Smart Modified Tour here at Carteret. So let's meet the starters of tonight's 99-lap race for the Smart Modified Tour at Carteret County Speedway. On the pole will be the King of the Modifieds winner at South Boston Speedway, currently second in points out of Mooresville, North Carolina, for 18-year-old Luke Baldwin in the 7VA. To his outside will be the number 23 out of Lexington, North Carolina, a 5-time winner this year and the current point leader of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. It's the kid, Carson Lofton. Starting third here tonight, a NASCAR Hall of Famer from Corpus Christi, Texas, and the 2021 winner of this race, Bobby Labonte. To his outside in row number 2, the red and white number 15 machine. For a 9-time winner on the Smart Modified Tour and a 2022 winner of this event, he's from Lexington, North Carolina as well, Brian Lofton. Starting fifth, he's a great winner at this racetrack in the past, and he finished 5th in his first time series modified event. Earlier today at New River All-American Speedway out of Mooresville, North Carolina, it is Jack Baldwin in the 7NY. To his outside, one of the most popular drivers in Southern Modified Racing competition, a 97-time winner in NASCAR Modified competition at Bowman Gray Stadium out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. It's the Citrus Safe number 1 for Burt Myers. Starting in row number 4 on the inside, it'll be the number 2 machine with shitty coolers on the side of that race car. A Brickyard 400 winner and a 3-time winner now on the Smart Modified Tour out of South Bend, Indiana. It's Ryan Newman. Starting 8th on the inside of row number 4. He is 3rd in points. In the last 3 races, he has finished 3rd, 2nd, and 2nd. From Freehold, New Jersey, it's Danny Bone. Rounding out the top 10 in row number 5 on the inside, the number 16 VA Pace-O-Matic on the side of this machine. A top 10 run earlier this morning at New River All-American Speedway. He's 9th in points out of Oxford, North Carolina. It's J-Cash, Jonathan Cash. And starting on the outside of row number 5, it'll be the 02 machine, a 2-time winner in Smart Modified Tour competition out of Miami Springs, Florida. It's the Gray Ghost for Joey Coulter. Starting 11th, he's a 7-time Turkey Derby champion in Belmar, New Jersey at Wall Stadium. He's a New Jersey speedster for so many years, one of the most popular drivers in modified racing for Showtime, Jimmy Blewett in the 99. Starting 12th here tonight on the outside of Jimmy Blewett in the 99 in the QRC HVAC and refrigeration machine. He's a 41-time winner in NASCAR Modified competition at Bowman Gray Stadium. It's the working man, Jason Myers. In the next row, in the number 12 machine, he is a former UARA late model stock car champion out of Statesville, North Carolina. It's Jake Crum. Starting 14th, another driver out of New Jersey from Jackson. He's a winner at Wall Stadium this year. The number 27 of Blake Barty will start 14th. in the next row. On the inside, a former late model hotshot from the state of Florida, now running modifieds here in the Southeast. It's Johnny Keeveman in the 48. Starting 16th, the number 21 car out of Reedy Creek, North Carolina. He finished 6th here in 2021. It's Jimmy Wallace. Starting 17th here today, the Garden State Classic winner at Wall Stadium. Earlier this year, he's out of Jackson, New Jersey. In that 24X, it's Karsten Dijon Damaso. Starting 18th in the Hillbilly Racing Ride, a two-time winner in Escape Modified competition at Stafford Motor Speedway. This kid's out of Newtown, Connecticut, and a recent high school graduate. It's Anthony Bello. Starting 19th in a good-looking yellow and black machine. 2 top 10s this year. This driver hails from Lexington, North Carolina for Daniel Yates. Starting 20th in the 12 machine, a third-generation race car driver, finished 13th in this race 1 year ago. It's Cody Norman. Scheduled to start 21st here tonight. He will not because of mechanical issues at Louisville, North Carolina now. It's Michael Jeanette. Scheduled to start 22nd. He is a modified kingpin from Ace Speedway in North Carolina. This guy out of Burlington, a young junior in the 45. Starting 23rd in the number 22, a top 10 finisher in the King of the Modifieds event at South Boston Speedway earlier this year. Out of Advance, North Carolina, it's Jason Totaro. And starting last on the field, mechanical issues earlier today forced him out of a qualifying attempt. He had to change the rear end on this machine. He's currently 7th in points out of Statesville, North Carolina for Tommy Buzzy Jr. in the 25. And that is your starting field for tonight's race here at Carteret County Speedway. We'll take a look at the point standings going into this one. It's been dominant this year for one driver, the number 23 of Carson Lofton. It's been so good with those 5 victories. Here is the point standings. Luke Baldwin, after this morning's event, unofficially, of course, 48 points behind Carson Lofton. 1 point behind Baldwin is Danny Bone after a runner-up this morning. Ryan Newman won the race this morning at New River. He's still in the thick of the championship hunt, as is Burt Myers. From 6th on back, they got to get going in a hurry. Joey Coulter in that 6th spot. Tommy Buzzy Jr., who starts last year tonight, 7th in points. Jamie Tomeno is the owner of the 99. Jimmy Blewett is the driver of that particular race car. He is actually top 10 in points. Then it's Jonathan Cash, one of the Rookie of the Year competitors, and Jason Myers rounding out the top 10. All right, folks, get up and out of your seat. We told you, we want to salute you, the racing fans of America. This is our salute to you. These are the ground pounders. They live by the grace of God at 600 horsepower. This is the Smart Modified Tour. Thank you to everyone here at Carteret County Speedway. Bobby and his entire staff for inviting us back for another year of great racing action at this fine facility. This is truly one of America's nicest short tracks. And I know I've been to 310 short tracks in my career, and this is a beautiful facility with a lot of amenities for the fans. If you're watching live on Flow Racing tonight, you need to circle this on the calendar when the new tour schedule comes out later this year, because this is a place not only to see great racing, but a great area for the family. A visit to the beach. We'll be doing that tomorrow. It's the Smart Beach Weekend. And how about this? We thought it would never be done. 2 races, 2 tracks, 1 day for the Smart Modified Tour. We're about to go green with the second race in 24 hours. We raced this morning, 34 miles up the road at New River All-American Speedway, and now we're about to go green again tonight at Carteret. That front row, the teenagers, Luke Baldwin and Carson Lofton. And by the grace of God and 600 horsepower, they will step on the loud pedal. We're green at Carteret. Baldwin and Lofton side by side for the lead. Lofton not giving up on the outside. He's got a little momentum, but look at the juice coming off the corner for Baldwin in that Pace-O-Matic VA. The Sadler Stanley Racing pilot crabs the lead in the early going here of the Carteret Clash. Battle for third. There is another S&S Racing ride for Bobby Labonte. Always fast here. Brian Lofton as well. Lofton in that red and white 15. Both former winners here back in 2021 and 2022. Labonte gets to third in that cookout number 18 VA. Brian Lofton back to the fourth spot. Fifth place right now. The Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners machine for Burt Myers. And folks, great weekend to go get yourself some Citrus Safe Grill Cleaner. You certainly need it on Labor Day weekend. Go to Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, you name it. They are the best grill cleaner on the market. Single file right now. The top three right there, but side by side brewing for fourth and fifth. Burt Myers is working his way by, has worked his way by Brian Lofton. Now here comes Danny Bone as well. So Danny Bone able to work up into the top five as well. Side by side, Lofton and Bobby Labonte for second. No more. Bobby Labonte up to second, and now tracking down his teammate at S&S Racing, Luke Baldwin. Luke Baldwin and Bobby Labonte talking earlier today about how to get around this racetrack, at least in qualifying trim. They didn't talk too much about the race. Maybe Bobby not wanting to show all his cars to the young phenom, the 18-year-old Luke Baldwin. But that PSR chassis team, boy, they've been awfully good this year. Bobby Labonte with the win at Caraway Speedway back in July with the Smart Modified Tour. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast tonight here on Flow Racing. We'll be at Caraway Speedway next Saturday, September 7th, for another event with the Smart Modified Tour. Ryan Newman right there. Newman in the orange and white number 2 machine, trying to march his way through the field. Newman and Danny Bone going at it just like they did earlier in the day at New River All-American Speedway. Newman won the race. Danny Bone finished second. Bone cutting off. Newman going into the corner. Close-quartered racing here early in this Carteret Clash. Newman now able to get the spot on Danny Bone. Wow, that was a close call. Now just 10 laps into this 99-lap conquest. Up front, though, so far it's Luke Baldwin, Bobby Labonte, Carson, Burt Myers, and Ryan Newman. Danny Bone, and a good run a little bit further back for Jonathan Cash, just outside the top 5. Cash in the 16, now 9th in the point standings. Jason Tutterow going a lap down in the Carolina drilling machine. This is a tough place to get around any race car, even if it's a slower one on the racetrack. There's the 7NY of Jack Baldwin. Baldwin 5th this morning in his first Tour Type Series race, Tour Type Modified Series. Baldwin running an 8th right now. Just behind him is Joey Coulter. Coulter in the 02 machine. And rounding out the top 10 is the 4 of Jason Myers. Let's go back to the front. The S&S Racing boys starting to get a little bit interesting for the lead. And there's Brian Brian Lofton. Lofton, who had started in the top 4, must have something amiss on that 15. It looks like a possible suspension problem. Brian Lofton has got a lap down. Lofton trying to hang on, hoping for a caution or to get to the conclusion of Bell Helmet stage number 1, which is at the end of 30 laps. Bobby Labonte right on the back bumper of Luke Baldwin, stalking him, looking for Baldwin to make one little mistake. And there is the caution. Lofton brings that car to a stop. And honestly, if you take a look at that right rear tire, it's blocked by the speaker right there. We need the car to move a little bit, and it almost looks like something's wrong in that right rear of that car. Thought maybe the tire was going down, but possible suspension problems for the 15.
First caution flag for the Smart
Lofton. The
Modified.
caution coming out on lap 18. Hey, we got a lot of racing coming up on the Smart Modified Tour as we see Brian Lofton come to the attention of his team on pit road. They're going to take a look at that right rear. Thought maybe that right rear had gone down, but the way that car was kind of, cattywampus on the racetrack, maybe rear suspension problems on that Shady Grady Racing number 15. We mentioned the race is coming up next Saturday. Asheboro, or near Asheboro, North Carolina, will be the race at Caraway Speedway. And then the following week, September 14th, that too is Saturday night, another beautiful facility for the Smart Modified Tour. We'll head to Dominion Raceway in Spotsylvania, Virginia. It's right off of I-95, just south of D.C. So maybe if you're in Pennsylvania, you want to head down, West Virginia. If you're in Virginia, great place to see some great racing action with the Mighty Modifieds. One to go until we go back to green flag racing. We're going to try to get Luke Baldwin on the Racing Electronics Racing Communication. We will try that again the next time we have a caution. We are 12 laps shy of the conclusion of Bell Helmet stage number 1. Everyone going by the CitraSafe Choose cone. When you get to that cone, you get to choose the inside or outside lane. And as we say that, it looks like we're going to go at least one more lap of caution before we go back to green. Jeff Button on the flag stand here tonight. Nice to see him waving those flags here at Carteret County Speedway. Chris Honeycutt, Honey, with the CitraSafe Choose cone, as always, doing a great job with that as well. So interesting here because Baldwin obviously chose the inside. Bob Bonney, who was second, chose the inside too. That gave third place running Carson Lofton the opportunity to jump on the outside, which he does. Carson Lofton now on the outside of the front row for this restart. Nice and easy pace off of turn number 4. Baldwin with the edge. Lofton trying not to give up on the outside, or at least get to that second spot. He knows Labonte is there, so he's got to drive in deep to 3. Lofton, what is he going to do? Can he get the second here? Bobby Labonte just too strong right now. High Groove is the place to be. And guess what? Lofton might lose third. Here comes Burt Myers. Myers, the defending series champion, takes Lofton way high down in turn number 3. That gives Burt Myers in third spot. And Ryan Newman follows suit. Now everybody's starting to move by Carson Lofton. He's trapped on the outside. Danny Bone gets by him in the 24. Jonathan Cash is there as well. Carson Lofton in trouble after getting kind of a little push up the racetrack from Burt Myers. We keep our eye on that. When will Carson Lofton be able to get it down? Jack Baldwin is there trying to fill the hole as well. Baldwin doesn't want the 23 to get down. Lofton able to do so. How about that? Baldwin not able to get the run up off the corner, and that allows Lofton to finally get to the bottom side of the racetrack. But he loses a bunch of positions. Carson Lofton outside of the front row, restart all the way back to 7th. How about those S&S racing cars? Baldwin, Labonte, first and second. Jonathan Cash just outside the top 5 and 6. Your top 10 right now. We mentioned Baldwin and Labonte. Burt Myers third, Ryan Newman fourth, Danny Bone in fifth, Jay Cash in sixth, Carson Lofton seventh, Jack Baldwin in eighth, Jason Myers in ninth, and Jimmy Blewett in the 10th spot. Blewett in the top 5 earlier today when he had a crank trigger go bad in that 99 car. Single file all the way through this one. This is what we expected in the early going here. Still plenty of time left. Just a few laps shy of the end of Bell Helmet Stage 1. The top 3 at that juncture will be given a little extra cash as well as some extra points to go towards the championship equation thanks to Bell Helmets, who actually provide the hardware, the helmet, for the leader of this race right now, Luke Baldwin. He wears a Bell helmet because it is certainly one of the best in the business in terms of providing safety for drivers in any racing series in America. There's the orange and white Bell Helmets checkered flag to indicate Bell Helmet Stage 1 is completed in the Carteret Clash, and it is won by Luke Baldwin, the 3rd generation modified racer out of Mooresville, North Carolina.
You know, it's still manageable, but like I said, it's like it's right past the center.
Luke Baldwin talking to his team, telling his team that car a little bit tight just past the center of the corner. It'll be interesting to see if anybody is going to come down pit road early in this race. Usually we see those pit stops a little bit later. Certainly drivers like to get past and teams like to get past the halfway point before taking on that one tire that they have at their disposal a little bit later on in this race. They can also make chassis adjustments and so forth. We got Bobby Labonte on the Racing Electronics Race Communication. Bobby, running in a good spot right now, following your teammate. How are things going so far?
Yeah, going pretty good. You know, I didn't know exactly what we'd have today. You know, we didn't practice that good, qualified really good, and but the race pace seems to be fine. So, you know, I mean, we're just trying to manage all the tires on it, you know, see what we got for later on. But so far so good. Glad Luke was able to get those points there.
Bobby, real quickly, how about that kid in front of you? 18 years old, looks pretty good. Did you give him any advice? Because we know you're awfully good here.
Well, we've already talked earlier, but I think he's got it figured out pretty good. So I don't know how much more advice I could give anybody like that, because he outrisked me a lot. So, but no, it's cool to see him, and obviously his family means a lot to me. And you know, I've been around them a long time, and so it's great to see him run this good. And yeah, hopefully we can just race it out to the end. That would be fun. But I think there's some guys behind me that's going to probably interfere with that.
Well, thank you, Bobby. Hopefully you're celebrating in victory lane and maybe a little cookout after the race.
Sure, thank you.
Danny Bone, one of the race car drivers on pit road. I see Tommy Buzzy Jr., Jimmy Blewett, Gary Young Jr., Joey Coulter, Cody Norman, all on pit road right here during the Bell Helmet Stage number 1 break. Carson Lofton, driver, the number 23, was running in the top 5. What happened there on that restart, Carson, the last one? You took the outside, but it looks like it didn't pay off.
Yeah, it did for us. The top definitely, it's really not that good here on a flat racetrack like this. And we're really fighting with the loose condition right now, so just trying to make the most of it and make it to where we can pit for our tire and go from there.
Good luck, Carson. We'll check back in with you later.
Thank you, sir.
Carson Lofton via our Racing Electronics race communication. Whether you need racing radios for your team or maybe some scanners, or they have a lot of great electronics at Racing Electronics. You got to check them out online. Racing Electronics, the best provider in racing communications around America. We got Jonathan Cash on the Racing Electronics race communication. Jonathan, looks good so far, just outside that top 5. What do you feel out of that race car?
I think we're pretty good right here. A little bit tight right now, but I think long run we're going to be just fine as long as we make the right adjustments. Can't thank Pace-O-Matic, Hermie Sadler, Bill Stanley, SMS Racing, and PSO Products enough for giving me this opportunity to do this here. And I definitely feel better right here than I have in a while.
You're coming to green, buddy. Good luck. Great opportunity for all of us to be able to, and it looks like now we are still coming to green. We've removed the CitraSafe Choose cone off the racetrack, and the green fires once again. Luke Baldwin with the lead. Bobby Labonte going to be able to get second again. Now it's Burt Myers trying to fend off people on the outside. Going to be tough to do here at Carteret County. He's got Ryan Newman on the inside. Battle is for third. There is Newman. He gets to third. Jonathan Cash now going to close the door. He's inside the top 5. We just talked to him on the Racing Electronics Race Communication. Side by side. Oh, it's not side by side anymore. Burt Myers cuts down in front of Jack Baldwin to try to save a spot. Burt Myers now back to 5th. Jack Baldwin right on him in the 7 and wide. There is Burt, behind him Jack Baldwin, and then behind that is Carson Lofton. Has certainly gone wild this year on the Smart Modified Tour. 5 wins by Carson Lofton, 1 win by Luke Baldwin. The team certainly owning a lot of the territory this year here in Southern Modified Racing. If you watch these drivers, not as much in 3 and 4, but watch when they go down into 1 and 2 here. They are about 4 inches from that wall, starting right there, all the way coming off of turn number 2 until we get to that camera right there. I asked Luke Baldwin today, I said, man, can you reach the wall? He goes, reach the wall? He says, I can poke it with my finger. That's how close they are to running the wall right down here in turns 1 and 2. Show you right here from this shot when all the cars go by, even down at turn number 3. Look at all the rubber marks on the inside of that wall there. They are very close to the wall down in 3, and then that wall kind of disappears and goes to the infield a little bit. But turns 1 and 2 and turn 3, mighty interesting with all that rubber on the wall down there in the corner, because these guys know the bottom groove is the place to be. Right now on the racetrack, Luke Baldwin, 18 years old, not a lot of experience, first season in full-fledged tour-type modified. Second place is the 18 of Bobby Labonte. He has 5 wins on the Smart Modified Tour and is looking for another here tonight. But behind that, we go to the 3rd place car, and that's where you see Ryan Newman, the winner earlier today at New River All-American Speedway, his 3rd victory in Smart. Now looking for number 4 tonight. Behind him, though, is another driver looking for victory lane for the first time in the Smart Modified Tour. Jonathan Cash right now out of Oxford, North Carolina for S&S Racing, riding in that 4th spot. And then there's Burt Myers. Burt Myers in the number 1 machine with Citrus Aid, Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas, as well as Peanut Patch on the side of that race car. Burt was not happy with his run earlier, hoping for better fortune here today. Behind the number 1, there you see that number 1 car, but behind that is Jack Baldwin. Baldwin, 3rd generation modified racer, 5th earlier this morning at New River All-American, has run here in a crate modified. The driver behind that, pretty interesting story with Carson Lofton in the number 23. Lofton, 7th place last year in that red 23, but he actually was the spotter for his dad when he won here a couple of years ago. Just a little interesting side note, has certainly learned a lot. Behind that red number 23 sits the 27 car of Blake Barney. Barney hoping for good fortune here tonight as well. Barney, a winner at Wall Stadium in modified competition this year in that 27 car, returning to the Smart Modified Wars this weekend. There is Barney, the New Jersey Speedster. Behind him, the QRC HVAC and refrigeration machine for Jason Myers. Myers right now running in the 9th spot. Myers, no wins at Bowman Gray Stadium this year, but that 4 car is pretty quick here today, and that is his Bowman Gray modified. He ran a different car this morning, had trouble with it, but they had planned to run this car here today at Carteret. And then the red and black number 24 machine. Actually, that's the black machine for the 24X out of Karsten DiGion Tommaso. Great run for him after he struggled earlier today. So the 24X, very strong winner in the Garden State Classic at Wall. A winner 2 times this year at the 3rd of a mile oval in Belmar, New Jersey. Behind that, we continue to march through the field. The number 12 of Jake Crum out of Statesville, North Carolina. Late model stock car star for so many years, and this weekend driving a new machine. No longer with the French Motorsports team. He's with Jeremy Gerstner Motorsports. Jeremy Gerstner heard at New Smyrna Speedway earlier this year, and now he's got Jake Crum driving his car. Behind that is Daniel Yates. Daniel Yates in the number 18, driving in 12th right now. That Yates grading and paving machine, hoping for another top 10 run. He's got 2 this year. And behind him, the 48 of Johnny Keevan, the veteran of short track wars around America, from late models to now modifies. Johnny K running in 14th. 13th, I apologize. Tommy Buzzy in the number 25, that Mark III financial car. For Andretti, Mike Smith. That car started 24th, and he's climbing his way through the field just like Tommy Buzzy does all the time. He's now in the 14th spot. Behind him, Jimmy Wallace. We mentioned a 6th place run in this race a few years ago for Jimmy Wallace. He is running in the 15th spot. Let's go a little bit deeper. We'll go to the next spot on the racetrack. Behind Jimmy Wallace is the 79 of Anthony Bello. Bello running in, it's a little bit of gap between the 21 and right there, that 79 car. Bello, the kid out of Newtown, Connecticut, a little contact with Joey Coulter. Coulter now underneath Bello. Coulter going to be able to move up a spot, put him to 16th. Joey Coulter in 16th, and Anthony Bello back to 17th. Wow, close call right there for those guys. Behind that is Cody Norman. Cody Norman in the number 12 machine, saw him on the racetrack. Norman a couple of laps down, being scored in 19th right now. No, sorry. He is actually still fighting to stay on the lead lap. It is Cody Norman in the 12 running just inside the top 20. And then you see that number 24 car way back there as well. The 24 car of Danny Bone. Man, he had such a good run here last year. And Danny Bone struggling just a little bit this evening at Carteret County Speedway. We hope you enjoyed a little march through the field. Back to the front we go. Baldwin, Labonte, and Jonathan Cash. 1, 2, and 3 on the racetrack, it appears. Pretty impressive run for the Sadler Stanley Racing Team. Say hey to Hermie Sadler. I know he was planning to come to New River All-American Speedway last night, but we got washed out there. So Hermie, if you're watching tonight, Bill Stanley, if you're watching, we met you at the racetrack. You gotta come back. We're looking forward to seeing you in the closing events of 2024. A trio of yellow and black race cars, PSR chassis underneath those machines here at Carteret. They tested here and they are on fire tonight near the coast of North Carolina. 35 to go in this one. Still plenty of time left, and you gotta wonder, will we get a caution or will we go all the way to the end without another caution? Baldwin trying to be smooth with that wheel. He is mature beyond his years. Baldwin already with one win this year. Labonte with a win this year. Jonathan Cash still with no wins this year, no wins in his short career with the Smart Modified Tour, which spans a part-time schedule last year as well as full-time this season. He sits 9th in points. Little gap now between the top 3 and the 4th place car on the racetrack, Ryan Newman. You gotta wonder, can Ryan Newman be saving anything right now? Or are these top 3 cars just that good, pulling away from him? Newman, you see that gap right there. We go back to the Shitty Coolers number 2 machine for Newman. The Daytona 500 winner several years ago, Brickyard 400, and now a 3-time winner on the Smart Modified Tour. Good looking machine for Coulter Motorsports. Behind him is Burt Myers. And Myers was not happy with the way he ran earlier in the day at New River All-American Speedway. A lot better tonight for the driver out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. Apologize for the ticker on the top portion of your screen, just having some scoring difficulties. And as you know, mechanical gremlins can play race cars, they can play broadcast as well. It just happens sometimes. But still, we're keeping you abreast of the situation here with plenty of laps to go in this one. Baldwin has been dominant in this race. You got to wonder if he feels protected by his teammates behind him or threatened a little bit. You got to think that they're not going to rub each other up too much, but at the same time, Baldwin hoping for his 2nd victory of the season. Now 75 laps complete in this one, less than 25 to go. A lap down in the 45. Everybody probably wondering if we're going to get a caution. The top 10 looks like this. Baldwin, Labonte, and Cash, top 3. Newman and Myers round out the top 5. Jack Baldwin still back in 6th. Carson Lofton right now in the 7th spot. Blake Barney is in 8th. Scoring is really just really weird here tonight on our race monitor and as well on our ticker. Keeps on flashing up and down. Rounding out the top 10, Jason Myers and Carson John Tommaso. Great run for him here today. Side by side, but guess what? Might get held up here by Anthony Bello. Slower car blocking Bobby Labonte. Labonte thought about going to the inside, thinks better of it. But Labonte's got the preferred groove. Does Luke Baldwin slip up and lose the lead here? Teammates kind of get into each other there with the 79 of the slower car, and that helps Baldwin keep the lead coming off of turn number 2. Baldwin a little bit loose, getting on the loud pedal there. Labonte now trying to track him down, going around Anthony Bello, putting that 79 car a lap down. Jonathan Cash has cleared him. And look at this, Ryan Newman is there as well in that orange and white number 2, as well as Burt Myers. The top 5 very close now on the racetrack. 82 laps into this 99-lap affair. 15 to go. What's going to happen late in the going? Have people conserved enough tire? Will there be a caution? Can somebody mount a charge at these S&S racing cars? Ryan Newman trying to do that right now. As a racing fan, I'm sure you're watching at home on Flow Racing, just wondering what's going to happen here. Looking for any little mistake by Baldwin is Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte will there to pounce in a hurry, but he knows Jonathan Cash is right behind him as well. Cash almost ready to put the bumper to that cookout machine for Bobby Labonte. And he does, I think, going into turn number 1. Kind of shoots Labonte up the racetrack just ever so slightly. Labonte now kicking it sideways a little bit off of turn number 2. Trying to get that inside bite to get alongside of Luke Baldwin. Can't do it just yet. 12 to go. 12 laps to go in this one. And it's starting to get anxious in the top 3. Newman's got a bird's eye view of those team cars battling for the victory today at Carteret. Newman finished second in this race 1 year ago to Brandon Ward. This time by for the leaders, it's 10 laps to go. Baldwin, I think, is driving a little bit with his rear view mirror, trying to keep the car on the bottom, lifting off the throttle, backing up his corner a little bit to make sure he stays on the bottom and does not make a mistake. Slower cars could come into play late in the race here as well. We got one just a little bit ahead. I believe that is the 02 machine of Joey Coulter. We'll confirm when they get to the front stretch, and indeed it is the next car that they're going to catch is the 02 of Joey Coulter. Cash thinking about going to the inside of Bobby Labonte, doesn't just yet. Oh, Jonathan Cash, oh, contact, team cars. Labonte goes around on the front bumper of Jonathan Cash. And the yellow flag comes out. You knew it was brewing. Bobby Labonte doesn't look all too happy. That'll be an interesting conversation amongst Hermie Sadler, Bill Stanley, and that team come this week. Woo, Nelly. I mean, after all, college football just started today, so how about bringing a little Keith Jackson into the broadcast? Listening to some of the conversations on the radios right now. And the 16 team of Jonathan Cash certainly defending him, had the run. Let's take a look at the replay on Flow Racing of what happened going into the corner. Here comes Bobby Labonte, kind of slows up a little bit, opens up the door, and I want to look at that again, maybe even slow motion. Looks like Labonte wiggled a little bit, went high. Maybe there was off a little tap from Jonathan Cash, but Labonte tried to close the door in a hurry. Usually it's, hey, you have to have your tire to the inside of the driver you're trying to pass. I would say it was the front bumper, but I'm not so sure it was the tire. It was an awfully close call down in turn number 3. But Cash certainly had a faster car than Bobby Labonte at that stage of the game. Jonathan Cash now in second. Oh, here comes everybody down pit road. Only 8 to go in this one, and everybody is in dire need of a tire. Interesting strategy though. Blake Barney stays out. Blake Barney was running 9th, stays out, hoping to maybe take advantage of track position and either win this one if he's able to hold everybody off or have a good finish. Everybody's on pit road, all 3 S&S racing cars. Ryan Newman in the 2 machine. Carson Lofted in the 23. Jason and Burt Myers are in as well. Jack Baldwin in the 7 NY. Cody Norman, Joey Coulter, Jimmy Wallace. Gary Young Jr. pulls down pit road. Daniel Yates, Anthony Bello, Johnny Keeman, and Tommy Buzzy. All those drivers on pit road. Remember, as far as the cars that pitted, they will not lose their spot because this is a controlled caution in terms of the cars that are on pit road. But those that stayed out will actually start in front of the cars that are now on pit road with just 8 laps to go. Danny Bone, by the way, was running in 12th. Bone, for the 2nd straight year, looks like he's not going to take a tire. Danny Bone now in the 2nd spot because he stayed out, 2nd to Blake Barney in the 27. Interesting scenarios here. Brian Lofton, the 3rd car in line on the racetrack, is many laps down, so he will not be a factor in the win here today. My scoring showed Jimmy Blewett in 7th at that caution, but right now he sits 3rd on the racetrack in terms of lead lap cars, but that is according to Race Monitor. We will certainly keep an eye on that, but it looks like right now it'll be Blake Barney, the leader in the 27 car, the 24 of Danny Bone in 2nd, and the 99 of Jimmy Blewett in the 3rd spot. Everybody else still getting in line, and it's all the other cars that were on pit road trying to get back to their positions amongst the cars that did come down pit road. Wow. Fans, are you ready to rock and roll tonight in the Carteret Clash? This one might get interesting in a hurry. Old, worn out tires on the 27 and the 24, even the 99. But then fresh right rear tire on the cars behind that. Jimmy Blewett comes down pit road in the 99 now. So it'll be Barney and the 24 of Danny Bone trying to hold on for dear life on this restart, with Baldwin, Jonathan Cash, Ryan Newman, and Burt Myers with that fresh right rear ready to go on the hunt. My brother Matthew Dillner in the flag stand with Jeff Bunton right now. Looks like he's getting a good shot for Flow Racing and some content this coming week. Make sure you get your subscription. If you're watching tonight, spread the word. There's no better subscription for anyone in motorsports right now that loves short track racing. 1 to go until we go back to green. Barney chooses the inside at the Citra Safe choose cone. Danny Bone chooses the outside. Then it's Baldwin the inside. Jonathan Cash stays on the inside, so on the outside of the 2nd row, it'll be Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman's got to wonder, can Danny Bone do anything on the outside? Will he hold them up a little bit? This one is going to get interesting in a hurry. The drama is building for this late race restart. Yellow flag comes back out. This time by one more time. 1 lap until we go back to green. With 8 laps to go, Carson Lofton sits back a little bit of ways in the lineup, but Lofton still solidly in the top 10, just outside the top 5 for this restart. This will be the most interesting and important restart of this race. So buckle up your britches. It's going to get interesting in a hurry as they rush towards turn number 1. As we say that, caution comes out again. At least one more lap until we go back to green. You got me anxious up here now. We're ready to fire this thing away. I'll just say it now. The most important restart of the race in the Carteret Clash happens right now. 2 drivers with some older tires on the front row, everybody else with at least that one fresh tire behind them. It'll be a battle for grip, and it'll be interesting in turn number 1. Barney goes up the racetrack. He got the lead, and we got a wreck down in turns 1 and 2. Burt Myers is involved. Blake Barney spins out of the lead after the caution flew initially for several drivers down in turns 1 and 2. We can see it's Burt Myers. We're trying to figure out who else was involved down there in the corner. It appears to be Jimmy Blewett got involved in the 99 just a little bit. Another car was trapped on the bottom side of the racetrack. It was hard to see. But Blake Barney, what the heck happened there? All of a sudden we're watching the accident and we see our leader spun out on the backstretch after the initial mishap in turns 1 and 2. And it looks like contact from Blake Barney from the 7NY, who is maybe getting a shove from behind. We're looking at it right now. I'm getting anxious. I'm getting anticipating. I apologize. Was looking at Matt Smith, our producer, cut the replay, and we're going to show it to you here on Flow Racing in just a second. Here it is, coming off the corner. There you see Barney go around. Let's slow-mo it next time at half speed and see what happened. There he comes down the racetrack abruptly right in front of Luke Baldwin. Baldwin hits him, but I think Jonathan Cash was pushing him from behind as well. Danny Bone flew by everybody at that juncture, so it just depends on what's going on here. You know, who that caution was thrown for and so forth, and I'm sure it's kind of a little bit of a crazy situation up there in the booth to try to figure this out. Let's see it one more time. Blake Barney in the lead in the 27 car. Here they are on our Flow Racing replay. He comes down the racetrack in front of the 7 and gets tagged by Luke Baldwin, who is getting pushed by Jonathan Cash. Some damage to the QRC machine for Jason Myers, who was running in the top 10. He appears as though he was involved in this melee as well. Red flag now displayed. We've only had one here. That's not too shabby. Had several at Caraway Speedway back on 4th of July weekend. We're going to show you what we have of what happened in the middle of 1 and 2 as well in just a moment. I think it'll give you some understanding in terms of what happened to Burt Myers initially to trigger what I believe the caution came out for. But we had 2 mishaps going on. Here it is right there. Watch Burt Myers. He gets maybe tagged from somebody, and then Daniel Yates kind of collects him as well. One more time on the outside row. It looks like maybe, is it Jack Baldwin? Yes, it is Jack Baldwin who gets to the back bumper of Burt Myers. Burt Myers comes down the racetrack and then gets hit by Daniel Yates. That's one more time on our Flow Racing replay. And you saw Burt Myers go in a little bit hot. Looks like he might have got a tag from the 7NY of Jack Baldwin. Started to go around, and then Daniel Yates had nowhere to go. That 18 just collecting the number 1 machine. On pit road right now is the number 18 machine of Daniel Yates. You see they're working on that right front suspension, and that's the area of the race car that hit Burt Myers. Burt Myers, I believe, is still trapped on the backstretch. We just saw that a second ago. We'll go back to that right now, and that's Burt Myers Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas Peanut Patch machine. And the Myers family, listen, even with hard AQ tonight a little bit, they'll be having a good time on the beach tomorrow, probably having some peanut patch boiled peanuts on the beach. We'll take a quick break here on our Flow Racing broadcast and come back with hopefully the conclusion of the Carteret Clash. We're back live under red flag conditions during the Carteret Clash for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Thank you for joining us tonight on Flow Racing. We are going to go to our Racing Electronics Race Communication, Danny Bone. Interesting scenario down there in 1 and 2. What did you see?
I don't know. I don't know if the 27 thought he was at a different racetrack or what, but he just drove in the side of me there and watched me way up the racetrack and then cut down on the 7 there, but I get it, but that was a little aggressive for the lead there with 9 to go, but I think, I don't know if the cars got tore up, which we hate, but I think we're going to fire off here in the lead.
I know things are being sorted out right now. Is this car good enough? Little interesting strategy tonight now. Gives you good track position, trying to fight for this win. What do you think your chances are?
I don't know. I don't like this red flag right now. It's just letting another heat cycle on these tires, but we're going to give it a shot. We just fired off the 3 there beginning of the race and figured out how to do something different. It's our race to lose right now, so we're going to give it hell. And I just want to thank the Amerifast crew and Amerifast Supply for the opportunity. And I want to get one of these Smarties, so I'm going to drive the hell out of this thing.
Good luck, Danny.
Thank you.
That was Danny Bone, who believes that he should be the leader for this restart the next time we fire here with the Smart Modified Tour. We were just told by smart officials that Blake Barney in the 27 will indeed not get his spot back. He was part of that caution spinning off the front end of the number 7 VA off of turn number 2 on that restart. And as Danny described it, Danny said the 27 kind of battling for the win, kind of drove him up the racetrack a little bit, tried to cut back down to the bottom. That's what we saw on our Flow Racing replay, and right into the front bumper of Luke Baldwin. Baldwin trying to check up a little bit, was getting pushed from behind by Jonathan Cash. Ryan Newman still in the thick of things tonight in that Shitty Coolers number 2 machine for Coulter Motorsports. Ryan, number 1, what did you see in that chaos down in 1 and 2?
Well, it looked like we had a combination. I remember back in the day at Martinsville, we had old tires in front of new tires, and guys with new tires that just didn't want to be patient. So 9 laps to go here. We're going to see if we get the Shitty Coolers car up front. I'm not really sure what's going on here with the 27, if they're giving him his spot back or what, but to me, he was part of that caution. I don't really know exactly what happened, but I'll give it my best here these next 8 or 9 laps.
So just to inform you, the 27 of Blake Barney will be going to the rear of the field because he was indeed part of that caution. But Ryan, what does your car have left? You got a shot at these S&S Racing cars and Danny Bone?
I really don't know. I think Danny's kind of a sitting duck with the older tires. I mean, they've pulled off here obviously, but they're still old tires and got a pretty good heat cycle on them. So I know we were all used up there before this last caution. So I think it's going to be between these 2 yellow cars and us, hopefully. But we'll see. We don't really know exactly what we're going to have here when these things refire. Just with putting the right rear tire on it, stagger change, and whatever else. And obviously the track's changed. We still got a car in front of us on old tires.
Ryan, we wish you the best of luck and congratulations on that victory this morning at New River All-American Speedway.
Thank you, Bob.
Ryan Newman, driver of that number 2 machine, has had a good season already. 2 wins to his credit. 3 wins overall in his career in the Smart Modified Torque, as he did get that win at North Wilkesboro Speedway a couple of years ago. We'll take a quick break, maybe talk to some more drivers on the other side of this break on Flow Racing. We are coming back with our Flow Racing broadcast in 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Cam 1, do you hear me? Cam 1, 16 car, 16 car.
Still under red flag conditions with 91 laps complete.
16 car. Here you go. Just welcome back.
Welcome back to Carteret County Speedway in Swansboro, North Carolina. Under red flag conditions for 2 different incidents down in turns 1 and 2. Blake Barney was part of that. He was leading the race. He will have to restart at the rear of the field. Let's go to our Racing Electronics Race Communication. Jonathan Cash, you still got a shot at this one, but got to first ask you about that contact with Bobby Labonte just a few laps ago. What happened?
Yeah, I'm gonna really have to go back and watch the replay there. Felt like I got under him a couple of times and got chopped. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I thought I would have been there, and I thought a spotter would have called me there, but got into him. Sure didn't want to do that. PSR pace-o-matic was looking really good for 1, 2, 3, and I've never won one of these deals here, and I was certainly trying to give 110%. If I go back and look at it, it's my fault. I'm gonna apologize and suffer the consequences when it comes back to me. But I'm gonna definitely go back and look at it. And, I hope I don't ever want to do that. Especially to a teammate. Like I said again, I felt like I was there, but still got a solid car. Got 3 solid cars by this whole group, and Pace-O-Matic, Hermie Sadler, Bill Stanley, all the guys, PSR. They just do so much for us. Hopefully, one of us here can win this thing.
Little craziness on that last restart. Car spinning behind you and in front of you. What did you see there?
Yeah, really, I couldn't see a lot just because, I was back behind 2 cars, and, I didn't know what was going on behind us, but definitely seen the one spin in front. I don't know, I know it's 9 laps to go. Unfortunately, that makes it real hectic, so we'll just see what happens.
All right, Jay Cash, do you got a shot at this one?
I definitely think so. Obviously some older tires in front of us too, and then Luke's really good, and we just have to race it out. Hopefully we can get a 1-2.
Good luck, Jonathan.
Thank you.
That was Jonathan Cash, driver of the Pace-O-Matic, number 16 VA for Sadler Stanley Racing. He's got a shot at this one here. It's going to be awfully interesting. We might try to talk to some more drivers here, see what they are thinking at this stage of the game. Burt Myers, who was running in 5th, knocked out of competition in this one. And that'll move the number 23 of Carson Lofton up into the top 5. Does he have a shot? A lot of questions still to be answered here tonight. We will go back to the Racing Electronics Race Communication. It looks like Carson Lofton, you'll be in the top 5 now for this restart. How crazy has it been the last little bit here?
It's been really crazy. With 8 to go, we took our tire and swapped left. So we probably made the right adjustments here. Just keep it hydrated on this blue water and see what we can do.
Definitely a hot day. You need that water to keep hydrated inside that race car. But really, realistically, with where that car is at, what type of shot do you have here? I know anything can happen up front, but what are you thinking?
I feel like I found something there towards the end of that run. We fired off 3 of the first run, and I think that might play into our favor here, so we'll see what it's got.
Good luck, Carson.
Thank you.
Carson Lofton, driver of the L&R Transmissions, number 23. That ride so famous in Southern Modified Racing for so many years, being driven by his dad, Brian Lofton, for so long, in all sorts of different series that made up the Southern Modified culture with tour-type modifieds for so long. But fortunately, we have the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Chris Williams resurrecting that series, and now a very healthy modified culture between Bowman Gray Stadium with NASCAR modifieds, as well as the tour-type modifieds with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Involved in the incident that brought out the red flag was Blake Barney. He had the lead and is now going to have to go to the rear of the field. We go back to our racing electronics race communication. Blake Barney, tough deal down there in turn number 2. What did you feel and see and understand with that incident?
I was going through 1 and 2 and definitely got up a little bit too high on Danny there. We're friends, I'm sorry for that, but the caution was already out, and then I lifted and they just ran me right over and spun me out. So I'm not sure why I'm going to the rear. I get that I spun out and stopped, but thought the caution was already out. And I lifted and just got driven through.
It was certainly a gamble, but one that could have paid off. Did you think you had a shot at that with the way the car was at that time with the fresh rubber behind you?
Yeah, definitely they're going to be on new tires, it's the thing. But listen, it's a gamble, and we wanted to put ourselves in a position to win the race, no matter what it took. So we tried to do that there. So.
Blake, it's good to have you back with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. And by the way, congrats on that win at Wall. We hope to see you again. Blake Barney, driver of the number 27. That Barney family has been around for a long time, 3 different generations. I remember, back in the day, Tony Siscone had run the Barney car, and that car was just absolutely beautiful. New Egypt Speedway before it was dirt, Wall Stadium, Race of Champions at places like Pocono and so forth. That Barney machine has been around for a real long time, one of the most immaculate cars in all of modified racing. And honestly, some of those cars that came from New Jersey were incredible. I remember, the Donnie Ling cars back in the day. Gil Hearn, just a beautiful orange number 12 with the checkered flag behind the number 12. John Blewett Jr. with that red, white, and blue number 76 back in the day. Just so many cool cars. Jamie Tomeno with the Howard Harvey orange number 09. New Jersey is a special place for modified racing, and it's part of the tradition that we continue to celebrate today. I hope to get back to the Turkey Derby at some point in my racing career, in my lifetime, because Wall Stadium is one tough place. I remember I was there, for those of you who are old like me, and my brother is old like me, and he'll remember this one, but I believe it was in practice or maybe a heat race or something for the Turkey Derby. I forget what year it was, and Vinnie Green hit the backstretch wall at Wall Stadium, and they had the wooden wall back then, and that car just was grabbed by the wood and just threw that car into like 3 or 4 different pieces. And it was just one of those wrecks that you always will remember. Vinnie Green, just incredible, spectacular wreck back in the day at Wall Stadium there in Belmar, New Jersey during the Turkey Derby weekend. But a lot of people here, the Blewetts, the Bones, the Myers, you name it. A lot of people have grown up around modified racing, like my brother Matthew and I. And we've seen a lot of modified racing in our days, from all the way up probably as north as, I would say, Oxford, Maine, back with the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour back in the day, right down south to different racetracks, and certainly New Smyrna Speedway that is host to the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing during Florida Speed Weeks every year. We'll take one more quick break, and we'll hopefully come back to racing action. We are told that drivers had reported some oil on the racetrack as well, so the track crew is looking at that as well. back live, right? Still under red flag conditions during the Carteret Clash for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. We talked to Blake Barney just a little bit ago, and he thought the caution might have come out, and he's after the caution. So just to clarify why Smart is actually putting him to the rear of the field, we bring in Chris Williams, the series director. What is the thought process on how that process happens?
Well, yeah, they took the green, and as they went into turn one, the one got spun out. Hoots immediately called, put it out. At the same time, the call on the back stretch was the 27 was spinning as well. So in Hoots' look, not on a replay or anything of that nature, it was simultaneously spin, and so you don't get your lap back when you do that. So that's the decision that Hoots made based upon the information given to him, and so that's what we notified, that they'll be going to the rear.
Thank you, Chris. We appreciate that. This finish is going to be wild here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Once we get the oil cleaned up over there, which will be about 2-3 more minutes, we'll get it back going. But hate that the delay happened, but when you oil down a track like that, it takes about 15 minutes, and that's where we're at. So should be a couple minutes, and we'll be back racing. But that's the situation we're dealing with, and so I hope everybody enjoys the next 8 laps, because it's going to be a doozy.
All right, Chris Williams, series director for the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. Folks, we hope you're having a good time tonight. We know this is a little pause in the racing action, but as Chris said, trying to clean up that oil down on the racetrack. We want to make sure this track is ready for all the competitors to go after the victory here tonight. And think about it. Up top, we have Danny Bone. He has not won a Smart Modified Tour event. He has said he has coveted one of those Smarty trophies, which is manufactured by Jostens and presented by Bankers Life each and every race. So he wants one of those. So does Jonathan Cash. Jonathan Cash in the 16, right up there in the thick of things. He does not have one of those Smarty trophies. Now, I would say that Luke Baldwin has one. He wants another. He won the King of the Modifieds at South Boston Speedway. Luke Baldwin, the driver of the 7VA for Sadler Stanley Racing. We spoke to Ryan Newman in that orange and white number 2 machine as well. He's got a few of those Smarty trophies. Won one this morning, by the way. Pretty incredible that we are competing in 2 races at 2 tracks in a single day. Everybody from the drivers and the teams to the officials and everybody involved with the Smart Modified Tour, we're going to sleep well tonight, I can guarantee you that. We want to thank you, the racing fans here from Coastal Carolina, for coming out to both races. That one at 9 a.m. was really early, but we still had trackside parking, pretty packed. We had a bunch of people in the grandstands, and then we come out to Carteret County Speedway again, and you show us why you are so important to this series. I was a kid at one point. My brother, who's in the flag stand for Flow Racing, was a kid. We used to sit in the grandstands like you at Speedway, Freeport back in the day, Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Thompson, Connecticut, Riverside Park, you name it, and sat in the grandstands because we loved modified racing. And everybody that is here, whether they're a driver, a spotter, a crew chief, a team member, a series official, we all love modified racing, and that's why we are here today at this facility, Carteret County Speedway, and we thank you, the racing fan, for being like us to sit in that grandstand and watch this race. Some great racing events around America coming up. Next Saturday, we'll be at Caraway Speedway. That's on September 7th with a Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. The following Saturday up in Virginia, the Commonwealth, with a big race at Dominion Raceway. Going to be happy to get back there. We got washed out last year, so Excited to get back to Dominion Raceway. We have lots of racing, I should say, coming up on Flow Racing. Here are some of them. Cannot wait to be able to see all the different races coming up on Flow Racing. The Short Track Super Series. I love the Short Track Super Series with those sail panels on those dirt modifieds. The Cars Tour action, all of it. Can see American Flat Track Racing as well. So much good racing on Flow. The High Limit Series as well. The Sprint Cars. The Kubota High Limit Series. I probably get yelled at if I don't mention the series sponsor for the Flow Racing Series. But great racing action. Kyle Larson, everybody has done a great job with that particular series. Kendra Jacobs and everybody. All good short track racing people involved with that series and so many others. I love the fall season the best because the fall season, especially with modified racing where we grew up, it was all about the fall races, the race of champions back in the day at so many different racetracks. I saw it at Pocono, both the 2.5 mile as well as the 3/4 mile. We saw it at Flemington Speedway, Chemung, Oswego, you name it, now at Lake Erie. So the race of champions, definitely, I was thinking about the most important races in my life, and the Race of Champions is certainly top 3 for me. But you have the fall final back in the day at Stafford. You have the World Series, which is incredible at Thompson Speedway with so many different divisions of racing. You can go there for breakfast and also have a drink at night because you have all your meals there the entire day to watch all the action at Thompson Speedway in Connecticut. But if you think about it, the Dirt Track World Championship for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, back in the day at Portsmouth, and I hear they got rained out actually tonight with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, but now that event at Eldora, just so much good racing in the fall, and the championships come right down to the wire. It's always a blast no matter where you go in the short track scene. The Super Late Models, of course, for the first time ever, my most famous race of all, my best race, the Snowball at Five Flags Speedway. That is going to be on Flow Racing this year. Excited about that down in Pensacola, Florida. Super Late Models are bad to the bone. Speaking of bad to the bone, will Danny be bad to the bone tonight and be able to keep the top spot here in the number 24 machine? He will have the decision, bottom or top. I guarantee you he's going to take the bottom for this restart, especially with older tires on that car than the cars right behind him. But the big question is, what is Luke Baldwin going to do in the 7VA? Will Luke Baldwin go to the bottom to stay with Danny, or will he say, you know what, I'm going to the top because I'm going to bolt right by him in turns 1 and 2? We'll find out this time by at the CitraSafe Grill Cleaners Choose Cone. The most important choose cone selection of the night. Bone to the inside, Baldwin to the outside, and of course, Jonathan Cash to the inside. Ryan Newman jumps to the outside in 4th. We are down to the nitty-gritty with 8 laps to go in this one. Danny Bone trying to hold on to the 24 with older tires. Baldwin fires. Oh, a close restart right there. Baldwin lets him get back by. I think he was afraid he might have jumped the start there. Now Bone all alone up top. Jonathan Cash on the bottom. Baldwin up top. Battle is for second. This is exactly what Danny Bone wanted to see. Jonathan Cash has grabbed that second spot, but Baldwin is not done. The young kid charging hard on the outside. He drives it in like 10 men on the outside in turn number 3, still side by side with his teammate. Wow, this is a good one here in the Carteret Clash. But this is just what the doctor ordered for Danny Bone. Bone starting to stretch his lead just a little bit. As we come down to the line right now, JB gives him 5 laps to go. Cash clear sailing right now. Now, can Jonathan Cash close in on Danny Bone? He's got 4.5 circuits to do it. Time is running out. Carson Lofton now up to third. He goes by Baldwin. Now Baldwin back to the inside. Newman sitting just behind that battle. Carson Lofton gets Baldwin a shot in 1 and 2. And Newman gives Carson Lofton a shot. Looks like Lofton might have cut in front of that 2 machine. You don't want to mess with Orion Newman. Lofton looking to the inside again of Baldwin. But up front, that's the most important battle. And as we see right now, it's about a 4-car length lead, maybe 3-car lengths, which is 2 laps to go for Danny Bone. Danny Bone finishes of third, second, and second in the last 3 races. With nary a victory. White flag is out. Can Jonathan Cash get there? Cash giving it all he's got here tonight. Still 2-3 car lengths separate first and second. Cash dives it into turn number 3, tries to close the gap. But finally, Danny Bone will get his Bankers Life Smarty Trophy. A winner in Smart Modified Tour competition in the Carteret Clash. The gamble pays off for Danny Bone, the New Jersey speedster, here tonight, and that continues the winning tradition for the Bone family in modified racing. The Amerifast team starting to celebrate in victory lane. Jonathan Cash congratulates Danny Bone out of Freehold, New Jersey. Mikey and the boys get it done here tonight for Buddy Ellis and this team. It's going to be a party tonight here by the North Carolina coast as Danny Bone wins his first on the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Family and team in victory lane. Congratulations all around. I saw Dad Eddie here just a little while ago. There's father and son celebrating in victory lane once again. We'll get Danny around to the front of the car. He's got the smart towel, the Hoosier around his neck, and Danny, you did it.
Finally, huh? Man, I wanted one of these so bad, and if I'm being honest, I thought we were done there. I had to play the game, but when we had that long red flag, kind of brought back memories of last year when we were leading there and had that long red flag. But man, I got to thank Amerifast Supply, Buddy and Lisa Ellis, my dad, my crew, Bill Steen Shocks, EM Consulting. We got Pro System Brakes. We bust our ass on these cars. We brought 2 of them this weekend, and we've been knocking on the door. That's a third, a second, and a win. So we're gonna go celebrate this one a little bit. We needed it. Tensions were a little high in the pits today. We're just hot, and we finished second this morning. So we're gonna party tonight, and hopefully get another one next week at Caraway.
I want to know how much you were looking in that rear view mirror and saying, exactly what I wanted, those boys to battle behind me.
Well, so I know when you put a right rear on late like that, it takes a few laps to come in, and I figured I'd be freer than I was, and my spotter was +5, +6, and I'm like, wow, I put it in cruise control there at the end and kind of just made sure I hit all my marks. But awesome to be in victory lane on the Smart Modified Tour. It's we've worked our butts off to get this one, and it's pretty nice.
Guess what you get to hold right now? Here comes the Banker's Life Smarty Trophy.
I might sleep with this thing tonight.
There you go. Manufactured by Jostens Haley, awarding that trophy for the first time in his career to Danny Bone, the winner out of New Jersey. Second place in a great run tonight. Jonathan Cash's best effort in the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. Talking to Phil and the boys with this S&S racing team, PSR chassis. Man, I talked to you a few times, trio of times now here today. Great run to the finish. Couldn't get to the 24, could you?
No, when we take tires here, you're tight for a little bit. And it took back to the last lap right there for me to really get the front grip. But, man, I can't say enough about these guys. At Caraway, we were bad. We were really bad. But everybody went to work. Phil went to work. Luke and Neil went to work helping us. Luke even drove my car, so I learned some things about me, but we all got better, and I think it showed tonight, and we've been really good this weekend, and I can't thank the guys enough. I mean, I really I'd love to have been Pace-O-Matic PSR 1, 2, 3 right here, and I'm not really sure what the right thing was to do right there right now until I go back and look, but like I said, I've never won one of these things, and I still didn't end up winning, so that's kind of makes me feel bad. But hopefully I can go back and watch. And like I said, if it's my fault, I take the blame. I'm not a guy to just get out here and say, hey, you shouldn't have been in my way. I'm not like that. And I apologize. Bobby's a friend of mine, and like I said, I'm gonna definitely go back and look. I felt like we had the better car right there, and again, I've never won one, and I want it real bad. So I shouldn't. If I go back looking, it's my fault. I shouldn't have used a teammate up like that. But, again, all of us was loose, and it was 90 laps on tires. So, but I just can't thank Pace-O-Matic, Hermie Saller, Bill Stanley, PSR guys, the whole crew. Just, man, for what they do for us and to get us here every week, and we feel like we got the best equipment each and every week, and it doesn't matter what we need, they do it, and Phil, he busted his butt, the whole crew busted their butt on this car just to make sure we didn't have something going on after Caraway. So, again, can't thank those guys enough. I do appreciate everything they do for me.
So close. Is Jonathan here tonight? Cash will get in victory lane pretty soon here in the Smart Modified Tour, finishing third in this race. In a wild run to the finish. Ryan Newman talking with his team right now. Randy Renfro and the boys win earlier today. A podium finish tonight in the Carteret Clash. What do you think? I was watching to see what was going on, and you guys were having a heck of a battle for third.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened on the start there. I don't know if Danny had a little strategy there, or Luke just was really worried about beating him to the line, or just jumping to start, or what. But it cost me a chance there in a couple spots, and we fought back to third, but we were just too tight there at the end. We were too loose for the long run and too tight there at the end, but either way, just got to thank all your fans for coming out. It's a fun racetrack, fun day of racing here, and the coast of North Carolina, and thanks to Shitty Coolers, Aggressive Hydraulics, Montrose Molders, Capital Auto Group, and Triangle Chemical Company for the opportunity to come out here and do this.
Pretty darn good day for Ryan Newman. The win earlier this morning at New River All-American Speedway, and a podium run tonight here at Carteret. We still got plenty of racing to go tonight here at Carteret, so don't go anywhere. I'm going to go get some popcorn at the concession stand and watch all these races. I think we got the Bombers coming up next. The Bombers are waiting in line. We're just trying to take these pictures and stuff. We got some sponsors to make sure we take care of, but big win tonight for Danny Bone, Buddy Ellis, and the entire AmeriFast team. On behalf of Chris Williams and everybody with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic, I'm Bob Dillner, and I say thank you to all of you for coming out. Thank you for inviting us here for another great night, and we can't wait to get on the beach tomorrow morning here during the North Carolina Coach. Thank you so much, and have a great night. Have fun watching the rest of the racing.
All right, we got racing left. The Bombers are ready to go.